Well, anyway, welcome back to another video on the channel. More scruffier look from me today. Ahead of this preview, obviously at the weekend, we travelled out to Cardiff and faced them in what looks like an early big 6-pointer really. I'm not too sure if it was a relegation 6-pointer yet because I don't know where we'll be come May, but I think at this moment in time it definitely is, and both sides really are looking at this fixture and thinking they can definitely get 3 points out of this. Both sides need to win this game. I think whoever comes off of this with a possible defeat, if there were to be a team who were to get beat, then I think the losing side will be in for a very, very long season ahead. I think both sides have come into this really they've not really hit top form at all, have they? I think we've yet to see the best from us, and I think we've yet to really see the best from Cardiff. But I think talking opposition, I think Cardiff's been quite unlucky in the games that I've seen them play. Obviously, the recent game against Spurs, I thought they was unlucky not to get nothing. Obviously, only going down 1-0 at Wembley isn't too bad at all. They had a couple of chances as well. Sean Morrison, I think he's had to hit the post, I think, in the second half. And also in the first half, Junior Hoylett had that chance where was it Jacob Murphy or Josh Murphy? I'm not too sure. I think it's Jacob, where he went through, chipped it over the Reece. It was going in, and it was a simple foot race between Alderweireld, I think it was, and Hoylett. I think if you're Junior Hoylett, you're hoping, if you're a person watching that, you're thinking Hoylett could probably have gambled a bit more and maybe put in a bit more in that challenge. Because I think if he did, he'd have probably got a touchdown and it would have probably gone in. And even against the likes of Arsenal, I thought they played quite well. Give them a very good game. I think they lost, was it 3 or 4-2? I think in the end it was. I can't really remember. And obviously went down 2-1 against Burnley, which I felt in that game they were very, very unlucky not to get nothing. I thought they played quite well. But I think the main problem for Cardiff this season is going to be actually scoring goals. I think you look at the people they've got up front, the likes of Gary Medine, Kenneth Sahor, Danny Ward. I just don't think it's enough there to survive in terms of getting goals. I think, they paid a lot of money for Gary Medine last January in the hope to try and really give more momentum to that promotion push. And I think Bolton played an absolute blind. They're getting £6 million for somebody who had only gone really through his first main prolific spell as a player. He'd obviously been around a few clubs as well. And to get £6 million for someone like him was a very, very good bit of business by Bolton. And I don't think Gary Medine's hasn't done much to really repay the favour for them. And I do think, as I said, they're going to struggle to score goals this year. And I think this really against some of the better sides and the teams around them, they are just going to really struggle, I think. The squad on paper, everyone keeps saying it is, to be fair, a championship squad, but there's plenty of talent in there who I think, if they were to go down, I could see a couple of players out that side potentially moving on to other Premier League clubs if they were to go down. But obviously, if you're Neil Warnock, you're looking at this game and you're going to fancy your chances. Obviously, we've got the worst defence in the league. Haven't exactly got the worst goal difference. I think we've got a -13, and I think Cardiff are joint with Huddersfield with... no, we've got -12, and actually Cardiff and Huddersfield have got -13, just looking at my notes there. So we haven't got the actual worst goal difference, but we've actually let in the most goals. We've let in 21, so he'll definitely fancy his chances from obviously you look at Cardiff and you think where they're going to be dangerous from. Obviously the set pieces, the long throw-ins, that's where they're really going to try and aim at, look for our weakness and exploit where they think we might be weak. And I think that's where they're going to really look to aim for. The likes of Sean Morrison with his long throw, even Callum Patterson, he's got a long throw as well. So there's a couple of players in there who can really launch one into the box if they need to as well. But looking at the odds, Sky Better, these odds were obviously picked up yesterday, so they've obviously been trimmed a bit more, I think, since then. Cardiff, I think their favourites in this game are 7-5 on to win this game. A draw is 12-5, and also Fulham 15-8, which I think was quite a big price. Looking at them today, I think the odds did get trimmed in a little bit, as you'd probably expect they would after the end of week press conferences. But looking at the way Cardiff have played so far, they've played 8, haven't won a game yet, failed to win. Drawn 2, lost 6, which it's not great at all, is it really? And obviously compared to us, we've played 8, just won the 1 game, drawn 2, lost 5 as well. So really, both sides, as I said right at the start, haven't started well. And in my opinion, this starts a big period of time now for Slavisa Jokanovic, where the next run of games are crucial and fundamental as to whether or not he'll stay in a job. I think if we get the decent enough points return, he'll be fine. But at the end of the day, this is not a popularity contest. It's a results-based business and a results-based industry. And if he failed in order to fail to get a decent amount of results, and a decent points return from these games, and he'd land himself, in my opinion, in very, very hot water in terms of trying to stay on as for the manager for the foreseeable future. But I hope that's not the case. I think he's done very, very well for us in terms of his he's approaching now, I think, 3 years in charge, so it'd be nice to see him really start to get a good run together and really see us really start to kick on now. I think we've seen in bits and pieces what this squad's capable of, and I think if we can get a win against Cardiff, it will hopefully kickstart our season again, which I really thought would happen against Burnley, as I said before, but it didn't happen for whatever reason. But I think this would be a perfect turning point to really kick on now, get a good win against Cardiff, and hopefully build on that ahead of the next couple of games, which are also vitally important when we play teams around us as well. Obviously, the likes of Bournemouth up next, Huddersfield and Southampton as well. So a very, very important period for Fulham Football Club here in terms of trying to stay in the Premier League, where we need to get wins and we need to get points on the board, or we're going to get cut adrift in and around that 3 or 4 pack team who seem to be developing at the moment. I think it's bottom 3, us, Southampton, I think, and really probably the 5 teams who probably could end up getting cut adrift if they're not careful, and we don't want to be in that relegation dogfight for the foreseeable future, obviously. But as I said, this is going to be a tough game. I'm not too sure. I've not seen it. I'm not actually had a chance to look at Visa Kamic's press conference yet. I think he sat down at 2 o'clock today to address the media ahead of Saturday. So I've not had a chance to look through that yet. I'm not too sure who's fit, who's not, who's going to travel, and who won't travel. So that will be interesting to see once I finish recording this. So looking ahead, my prediction is going to be a 3-1 to us. I think we will win just for the fact we've got that bit more firepower up front, and I think Cardiff's defence, it isn't great, I'm not going to lie. I think Sean Morrison I do like. I think he's a decent defender on his day. Obviously they're without the suspended Joe rules, as we all know. His terrible challenge on Lucas Moura last weekend or the weekend before that warranted a straight red card. They actually appealed that as well, which I found quite funny. But he was never going to get overturned. It was a terrible tackle, playing nowhere near the ball, didn't even go to play the ball, simply wipe out the man. And I think it's a fair enough decision that he's out for 3 games, Joe Rules, one of their main players. I'm not sure who coming to midfield. I think it might be Aaron Gunnison or probably Loic de Moor maybe. I'm not too sure on Cardiff's midfield options. I'm not too sure at all. But as I said, I'm going to go 3-1. As I said, looking at their back line, also Sol Bamba in there as well. They've got Greg Cunningham, who's played at left back, him and I can't remember who plays at right back for Cardiff now, I'm not too sure. It was Lee Peltier and Jazz Richards, I think, but I don't think either of them have played too many minutes this season. I'm not too sure, but I think, as I said, the firepower we've got up front against some of the lesser teams, I think we'll exploit them. I think we'll get at them. It's going to be hard, don't get me wrong. It's going to be a hard game. Going out to Cardiff this season is going to be a tough place to go, considering how so-called weak their squad is. But it's going to be a tough place to go. Their fans have got a good set of fans down there. They're quite vocal. They're going to get on their team, going to get behind their team at all times, because they look at this game as well. I think it's an easy, they look at this game, as I said, and they see it as a potential 3 points as well. They look at us as a potential wounded animal, and they think we can exploit them. So it's going to be a hard game. And I think, as I said before, I may be sounding like I'm repeating a lot of my points here, but it's just the way I think it's going to go. And whoever loses this game, they're going to be in dire straits, and neither side can afford to lose this so early on in the season. I mean, what a crucial game this could turn out to be towards the end of the season, when you might look back at your results against some of these teams and think, oh, if only we've got points here, if only we've got points there. These games will make your season in terms of clubs similar to us and Cardiff as well. So absolute massive spectacle. And I'm hoping that we'll get the job done down in Cardiff. We won there last season 4-2 over Christmas. We beat them on Boxing Day, I think it was. So another result of that wouldn't go down too badly at all, I don't think, amongst the Fulham faithful. It'd be nice to try and get a clean sheet as well. We're the only team in the league not to kept a clean sheet. I know Cardiff have. Obviously, they drew 0-0 up at Huddersfield on the second day of the season, I think it was. So they've kept a clean sheet, which is remarkable, really. I think, and we need to keep a clean sheet. We need to stop shipping goals, obviously, because if we ship goals, it makes it harder for us. We're constantly chasing games, and we need to try and make sure against these type of teams we outscore them. So as I said, I'm going to go 3-1. If you do enjoy this, guys, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new as well. It'll be much appreciated. And we'll be back probably on Sunday for the match review. I might actually do a black and white view match review. I might try and combine can't even get my words out there. Combine the pair of them and see what happens from there. As I said, guys, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new as well. And we'll see you all soon, guys. Take care.